Hello everyone, it's me, I'm back, Antshyy, and today I have another commentary video. It's been a month, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get back at it. I'm gonna try my very best, at least. Trying my best is all I can do right now, so let's do that. Today's topic is just gonna be about risks. The person who suggested this was Stupid Dogs. I appreciate you. Check them out. They're a really cool person. And yeah, hopefully I get well into detail. If I don't, I'm sorry. I'm pretty rusty at this. But yeah, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in our main game mode. I haven't played party games in a while, so excuse me if I play bad, but the whole point of this isn't just to look good on skill wise on here, so I'm just gonna be talking about my topic, not really caring about my performance. So first I want to talk about, I guess, risk in general, and then I'll always talk about my experience with it, because that's how every video is gonna go. So honestly, I feel like you risk something. You risk your life, you risk relationships, you risk yourself, or you risk something physical. And so overall, risk is just you gain something or you lose something. But first, let's talk about risking but then gaining something. Risking and gaining something, I feel like it's the least common one. Well, I wouldn't know. I don't have freaking statistics for this information, but I'm just going based off what I think. So I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But I feel like when people think of risks, they think of like, do they really think, well, they hope they're thinking that they get what they get, but mostly people think about like, oh, this risk might not be a great idea, which I get that. There's times where I don't even take risks because I know that like the punishment is so bad that I can't even think about actually like it going well. So, but the thing is with risking and but losing something, I think people should realize is that taking risks takes bravery. Sorry, my throat. Risks takes bravery to do, and I feel like even if you don't get the result you wanted, I feel like you should still be proud of yourself for even attempting a risk. Risks are really scary and can cause a lot of fear and anxiety and stuff like that. So I'm only saying that because I had an experience where I took a risk, and at first I didn't get what I wanted, but I was so happy. And then later on, it was fine. But when I took that risk and it wasn't my result I wanted, I didn't let it bum me down that much, because it was the first time I ever like took that big of a risk of doing something, and I'm so happy I did it. Sorry, my heart races when I think about it. But when people take risks, I want them to like appreciate themselves more for doing something that takes so much bravery to do, because you're not always expecting the best solution. And if you get the best solution, good job, you took a risk and you got what you wanted. That is probably a big accomplishment people can like get. But risking isn't always just about gaining or losing something. It's also could be about like maybe preventing something, like risking your life to prevent someone else's life from being, gone or something like that. Risks are so that's why I said bravery a lot, because risk is just bravery in itself. Like, I see risk as an opportunity to show if you're willing to make strong, hard decisions, which may not be very common for people because it's fear. Fear is something that prevents us from taking risks. But I feel like at some point in someone's life, it's great to take that sort of, decision, because even if it goes bad, you did something that most people aren't able to do because of how scary it can be and all that. You still have to be careful what this risk is, because if you risk like your general self, like your soul and your physical self, you still have to be careful and understand that some risks can lead to very, very bad, worse things because you did something that you took the risk with some person or something, and then it ended up not going well later on down the road. So it's always best to make sure you know what you're dealing with before you even take the risks. This is so like complicated to like it's not complicated, but it's so like it's more deep than you really think. Because it takes bravery, it takes like bravery trusting in that decision. It takes your whole heart into that decision because it can really change how your life goes from then on. Either it being like a risk that will last long while, or even just a risk that will just last like like not a second, like 10 minutes. Like it can still impact your life so much that I feel like risks should just be treated as be cautious when you take risks. That's what I'm trying to say. Just be cautious when you take a risk with something or someone or just yourself and what you do. So from my perspective, I just think risks are gaining and losing, trusting, having bravery in your heart, and being cautious of it. It's a really, it might for some people this seem simple, all right, let's just take this risk, but for some people it could mean a lot. It could really like dedicate their lives for it if it's a really huge risk that they're taking. So you can separate risk between two people, someone who's doing it because the risk they're taking isn't that like isn't that scary, I can say, or like isn't they know it won't impact your lives a lot, but there's mainly risks that will of course impact someone's life greatly. And I have maybe a few experiences of taking risks. I've always been like not a person to like, you know, risk a lot of stuff because, you know, I'm too scared. I mean, which is fine. I mean, I hope to take more soon because I know sometimes risks can benefit you. So I've been doing that more. I think one of my biggest risks was was telling myself that I mean, it's not really a risk. Well, it's kind of my dream. I just want to make videos for people like this so they feel better about themselves. I took a risk of thinking that this would be like my future overall. Like, I still want it to be. Well, it's a risk because if it doesn't go well in the time span that I need it to go well, then it would just, I feel like my time would have been wasted and it wouldn't be worth it. I think it's like a huge risk for me because if I dedicate so much time to something like this, I would hope I get what I wanted, and if I don't, I feel like it can really impact the rest of how my life goes because I would just feel so down and upset that not that I wasted, but just that I spent so much time I could have used for something else on this because I really love this. I love doing this. It's fun and I just hope it can go somewhere. But if it doesn't, then I'll just be very upset. But I'm hoping it can go somewhere, you know? I still have full faith in that. Also, I think another risk that I have taken many times is putting trust in people. As I said earlier, risk comes with like trust and bravery. I think trust is a very like main focus one for me because I trust very easily. So that's probably a risk I take every day. I trust people easily because I always just believe people can always be better and stuff. So far, it has been good for me in that like area, but I'm risking like my soul, like my emotions just with that. You don't like me, do you, huh? Fortnite Master 7. I don't take risk unless I know that like both of the outcomes would be good for me. Like if I were to like get a bad outcome but I know that it won't impact my life that much, then I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. And I've done that recently and I'm glad I did because it turned out great and I'm happy for that. I'm I'm a bit rushed at this, so it's really hard for me to get into detail about my experiences. I mean, because I literally don't take that many risks, gonna be honest with you, so I'm sorry. But I just feel like if I were to take a risk, it'd only be ones that are mostly safe. I would like to take a big risk in something. I don't know what that would be. I don't know what that could be, but if I were to take a big risk, I would like prepare for the outcome that I will have, and I feel like everyone should do that. Before you take a risk, or before you know when you're gonna take that risk, at least prepare yourself in some way for the outcomes, future outcomes or instant outcomes that may happen. Because it's always good to just be prepared for stuff like that. How did Fortnite Master beat me? Okay. With the idea that like when you take a risk and you realize there's no really there's downsides, but there isn't really. When I realized that my risk ended up being great, well, at first it wasn't, but then it was, I realized I could do a lot of things in life just from that risk I took, and that really made me realize that how brave I was and that I should be taking more risks like that and hoping for the best. If I didn't take any risk in my life, I probably would just be, I wouldn't have a lot of other like new opportunities, new sight on the road. I'd just be the same person because I haven't explored what it's like to gain or fully lose something from a simple decision, and I feel like that's why everyone should attempt the risk, because it can lead to great things. It really can. That's why they probably promote it at school a lot, risk taking, because you can do so much when you take a risk. Like if it turns out great, you're set, dude. But even if it turns out bad, at least you tried you tried your absolute best for it to go well. But then again, I'm sorry for this not being that long of a video. I low-key haven't done this in like forever, and I probably should have made a script for it, because I knew I wasn't gonna know that much about it, and I feel like I didn't talk a lot about it really, but I think some of it is because I just don't have experiences that much of taking risks, so like it was pretty pointless for like my experience part, and also I just don't know much. But I'm glad that I got back into this, and I hope you enjoyed watching. I'll see you at the ending spot once I die. Oh no, I slipped. Alright, thank you for watching. I'm sorry I couldn't make this a longer one, but you know, at least I came back for y'all, and I will continue making these again. They won't be daily because I'm just not capable of doing that, but whenever I find another topic, I'll post it. Alright, thank you for watching. Thank you, Subi, for the idea, and yeah, thank you all. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye.